everyone, and welcome back to Travel Tip Tuesday with the Travel Mug Podcast. How are you today, Megan?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I am doing well. So, as you may or may not know, dear listeners, I have two dogs.
What are
Dream-
their names? I mean, you have to share these
or-
details with the
Yes,
people.
their names are Lucy and June.
Precious
They're,
babies.
yes, they're both rescues from Texas. And my dream is to be able to winter in Florida, which would likely mean bringing our dogs with us. The drive intimidates me with dogs, but that's a different topic. Today, I want to talk about bringing your dog through the US Canada border specifically. So there are some new rules coming into effect on August 1st about bringing your dog into the USA. I wanted to go over that here. This information is mostly about the land border crossing between Canada and the US. There may be additional things you need when you fly. I'm not sure. And I do want to note that we're recording today on July 29th, so a few days before the August 1st changes. The rules have been changing a bit over the last couple of days. So just please double check before you travel. But this is correct as of today.
That's all we can do.
Right. So bringing your dog into the USA. If you are bringing them from a rabies free or low risk country like Canada, they have a list on their websites. You can double check. Here are the steps. So you will have to fill out the CDC dog import form. The form is valid for 6 months if you're traveling across the border multiple times. So you only have to fill that once. In addition to the form, your dog must appear healthy when you're crossing the border. They have to be at least 6 months old at the time of entry or return to the US. And they must have a microchip that can be detected with a universal scanner to identify them. So, with my understanding, the form, the microchip, and being over 6 months old are new requirements.
Okay.
So if you're coming from or your dog has been in a country that's high risk for rabies in the last 6 months, you're going to have to provide a certification of US issued rabies vaccination form or a USDA endorsed export health certificate. So a little bit more complicated. If they're not vaccinated for rabies and have been to a high risk for rabies country in the last 6 months, they're not going to be allowed to enter at all. So something to
Okay.
keep in mind. Now, on the flip side of that, if you're bringing your dog into Canada, and if your dog is 8 months or older, these are the steps. You have to have a valid rabies vaccination certificate. So, rabies is important here.
Sure.
You have to be able to provide documentation that you own the dog. I assume like a vet receipt or something like that would be good. The dog must appear healthy upon arrival. It is strongly recommended that you travel with the physical original copy of all documentation. They don't want just pictures on your phone of like the rabies certificate and the documentation that you own the dog. And then another interesting thing is you are limited to 20 kilograms or 44 pounds of dog food, and it has to be in the original packaging.
Is that for like bugs or anything? Like
I
bringing
think
something with you?
I think over that amount, they would consider it like commercial, like that you might
Oh.
be reselling it. I'm not sure exactly, but those are the rules. I did read someone say it. They've never had them actually check how much dog food they have. So, like, if you have more, you might be okay, but you also might not be. So, who
That's
knows?
at your own risk.
At your own risk. So, both of the government websites have information about traveling with dogs, and of course, it could change. So, I'm going to make sure to link those in the show notes below so that you can check that out. So, Megan, I know you don't have any dogs, so you're not driving across the border.
Not anytime soon, but I could see how this is very valid information, whether it be during the summer travel season, which we're in right now, or especially for Canadians who snowbird in the US
Yeah.
wanting to take their dogs with them. So, very valid info, though.
Yeah, so that's all we have this week. If you're just finding our show, welcome.
So
We
glad
share
you're here.
We're so glad you're here. We share short travel tip Tuesday episodes every second week and longer full episodes every second Wednesday. You can support the show through Buy Me a Coffee by leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or by sharing the show with a travel loving pal. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook at Travel Mug Podcast or our website, travelmugpodcast.com. So until next time, bye.
Bye, everyone.